Pride does something, and it just makes kids more hopeful. And when they have more pride, they want to do their very best.
You know, we're going to get back what we put in. The investment we see our kids put into our community is going to be impacted a lot by what our community invests in them.
Kids are always, forever, an investment worth our time, our effort, our energy, and our value. They are never not deserving of the absolute best.
The bond issue started around July of 2022. We gathered teachers, administrators, parents, community members, and really sat down and looked at things from a holistic standpoint and said, what does Harrah need? We toured all the school sites. We visited with staff, we visited with teachers, we visited with principals, kind of got their perspective as far as what were the biggest needs that they had in their building. We were able to identify a lot of things ranging from playground equipment to safe entries, to facilities, to having space and availability for things like STEM education, art classrooms. So we started to look at things from the standpoint of what can we do to provide those enrichment programs that we were kind of having to kind of scrounge around for and make room for in different places.
My library space is currently 2 classrooms with a wall knocked down, which sounds like plenty of space, but the classrooms are small. We're also divided by 2 restrooms and a little hallway that serves as our storage right now.
With the splitting of the boys and girls wrestling program, we've really seen our girls program take off. And so being able to have adequate places for each of those groups to, again, practice and compete is really important to them.
Some of the equipment that we have has been in our department for since the first part of the school was the middle school when it opened in the mid-70s.
Our band group, since with Mr. Sook at the helm, has really grown, and as they grow in size, they're beginning to outgrow their current space.
We brought in some construction experts, construction management, architectural firms to kind of look at our design as a whole and say, what does our facilities need? Do we need brand new buildings? Do we need brand new facilities? The answer to that, quite frankly, was no. They felt that the space that we had was very good. The bones that we had in these buildings were very good. We were able to kind of look at the layouts of the building, which necessarily weren't designed with school safety in mind.
We have a pretty secure area right now, except when parents do come in, it's still open into the hallways. With the passage of the bond issue, parents would come in and they would be in a locked vestibule. And that's good for everybody, but especially for our children.
At this point, parents, when they enter the building, they're free to go throughout the building wherever they'd like without staff realizing it. If the bond passes, then that won't be a problem anymore. That won't be an issue. They will go through a safe, secure entry.
We have a main entrance if this is passed, and just keep all the kids safe. It'll also be a new safe room between those. Instead of going down in the bottom of the cafeteria, we now have a nice place for the kids to go if we do have to go to for storms, tornadoes, or anything.
At Russell Babb, on any given day, a student will have to leave the main building up to 7 times in the day to access other locations that our facility offers. The library, the gym, our music room, speech, Indian Ed, the cafeteria. This bond is going to contribute closing in Russell Babb to be a closed facility where all buildings are connected as one main building, keeping our students secure inside at all times.
As it sits right now, anybody that comes into the building, they're able to walk in and actually really go about 4 different directions before they even come to the office. And so it's really difficult sometimes to know exactly where somebody goes when they come in the building. So the reconstruction of the office and the secure vestibule will have everybody come in and have to go into the office.
As it is now, parents enter the building and then have to go 50 to 75 feet to the main office, which is not as secure as it could be. So moving that more to the front, where the front is visible, where patrons and parents and community members know where the front of the building is, know where the main entrance is, I think can help simplify a lot of confusion at times.
So we were able to look at those things and redesign some of our entryways and redesign the office spaces and redesign classroom spaces to create more room for more programs. I think that's what the basic premise of this bond issue is it's addressing a lot of needs.
This bond will actually expand my library, and they're really becoming readers at 2nd and 3rd grade, so we don't want them to feel limited at all.
Russell Babb is the only site in Harrah that does not currently have a safe room available for our kiddos. We do have a very old, musty basement that our kiddos have to go to, but in order to access that safe basement for them, they have to go outside into the weather.
Traffic obviously has been an issue, especially with our growing community. And with the loop that will go around Harrah Middle School, we will see a significant improvement in traffic.
Creates one single direction for everybody to come in, whether it's morning or afternoon, in one exact place for everybody to get dropped off and picked up. And it doesn't cross traffic with teachers parking, doesn't cross traffic with any of the buses pulling in or pulling out during the day.
I see not only safer spaces for our students and staff, but I also see better learning environments for our students and staff. You know, the improvement of the science labs at Harrah Middle School, it's going to be amazing for all of our kids.
So it's in really poor shape, and so our teachers actively try to go down and have science, you know, labs and things going on, and that when it's not up to par of what a lot of places probably have, it's a struggle, you know, for them. So the education quality can't be where they want it to be because they don't have the facilities.
So right now, our class where we have self-contained population of our special ed kids at the high school, for a student that needs to use the restroom, they have to exit the room and go to a different restroom. If a kid has an accident, you know, they don't have the laundry facilities to help that kid's clothes get cleaned. With what we're talking about being able to add is a self-contained room that would have all of the necessary elements to help their kids who need that little extra attention, a little extra care.
The bond will affect the fine arts and my classroom specifically, and that we will be able to have new renovated facilities. Both art classes will be housed in one building, which is convenient and very practical. And so new equipment will have a direct impact on our students. And it gives us the opportunity to expand our program.
One of the other things that you'll notice too at the high school that were on the proposed changes is an increased size of the cafeteria. Right now our cafeteria can comfortably hold about 200 kids. Current enrollment at Harrah High School is 621 and we have 2 lunches. Some of the other ones that are more subtle would be the improving of our science rooms. Right now some of our science rooms are really pretty outdated. They don't have the adequate infrastructure, I feel like, for our science teachers to be able to do quality labs.
I grew up in a community that was not far away from Harrah, and the Harrah that I remembered growing up was the Taj Mahal of school districts, and it had the greatest facilities, it had the greatest, you know, buildings, it had a pool, it had all sorts of wonderful things, and I felt like that if there was a district that was kind of on a pedestal, I felt like it was the Harrah that I remembered back in the 70s and 80s. When I came to Harrah as a superintendent, it was my personal goal to put us back in that to put us more in that facade. I wanted Harrah to be the Harrah that I remembered, be the shining star of the school districts in this area. I think the only way that you can continue to do that is when you make investments.
And one of the things that I've kind of seen as I've been working through or working with the district in the past years is the environment that they're learning in really hasn't changed since most of those buildings have been built. And as you look at that and you see studies that talk about the environment that education occurs in, there's direct correlation to success in education related to how clean and well lit and open the environments are, and I think this bond's going to address some of those issues.
And this election is open to all registered voters that live within the Harrah School District. So if you live outside the city limits, but you still live in Harrah School District, you are more than welcome and eligible to vote in this election. So make sure to check your precincts and find out where you live and what specific polling site that you go to, and get registered to vote and show up on October 10th.